Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Wheels Forgotten YouTube channel. Today we have something a little different. It is a Husky generator with a Subaru overhead cam motor on it, and picked this up from an estate sale. And we're just going to do a quick little can we get it to run video. I think it's been sitting for about 5 years or so. First thing we're going to do is get it cleaned up, bring it back in the shop, check everything over. I'm going to show you that process. Just do a fun quick little video today and see if we can't get it running in the next hour or so. I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem. Alright guys, so we're back in the shop, and as you can see, this thing is pretty much virtually unused. It was just very dirty from sitting in a wood shop for its whole life, but I mean, this thing's pretty much brand new. Excuse the light coming in from the door there, overblow that. But I imagine it's probably just got 5-year-old gas in it, dirty carburetor, but we'll go ahead and check everything over, just kind of give you guys an idea of if you're new, to show you what kind of things to look for, how to work on it. I would probably most likely just drain the gas out, put some fresh gas in this thing, and it'd probably start up. But we're gonna do the whole spiel, check everything over. I guess we should start with checking that fuel first and see what it looks like. Let's see what we got in here. Oh yeah, you can totally see in there. It actually doesn't smell that bad. It's definitely varnished a little bit, but I'm hoping that this had maybe it was run with non-ethanol fuel and it doesn't smell terrible. I can see in that fuel filter down here that it has some brown residue in the bottom, so we're probably gonna take that off. Just drain the gas right at the tap and put some fresh stuff in there. Here and check the oil a little bit just to see if there's anything funny going on there. I don't think there is, but just see what it looks like. I don't see if we can see how long it's been sitting in there. And it's full. Doesn't look too bad. Smells a little bit like gas, but we'll drain that later and put new stuff in it. That's not a big deal. It's part of what you should do anyway. Just regardless, they don't take. If I get this thing to screw back on without cross-threading, these things are plastic and they go in an aluminum case, and they always have a tendency to not want to start correctly, and then people shove them in there and then they leak. You should always drain stuff and change it when you don't know how long it's been sitting. I think there's a drain bolt right here at the case. We'll just dump that out a little later when we know it's going to run and put new stuff in it. But I think we're over here now and take a look at our fuel coming out of here. It's got a regular drain cock on it. Get enough out of that. I might take it off the carb side. She's stuck on there pretty good. The new filter is definitely in its future. Oh yeah, of course. Maybe a small piece of hose. Always keep fresh hose in your stock. petcock's not working. Interesting. I've got no flow out of the petcock, so maybe it's the filter. We can. There we go. A little bit of siphon action, and she'll go. It actually doesn't look that bad. It's pretty. It's not great, but it probably would have ran on that. That's gonna take a while. We're gonna go ahead and let that drain, and I'm gonna start working on some other stuff while that takes 37 years to empty out of there. Let's see if we can check this, check the carb, check the filter. So this thing comes apart. Help me understand. That's a pretty bad design. Oh, the film's not all deteriorated. It's actually in pretty good shape. It's definitely very oil saturated though. At the bottom, the rest of it's dry. So it's had a lot of time to drain down. We'll re-oil that, clean it out. These foam filters are usually oil bath. Sometimes they're dry, but a lot of times you have to have them oiled. They make special filter oil, which I have, but you can also use a 30 weight non-detergent motor oil, which I always keep around the shop for general lubrication purposes. But definitely. That may actually be a dry filter, and this is just oil draining back from the crankcase vent. But who knows? I don't. You know? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this airbox off and get the linkage off and check the carburetor and probably show you what those jets look like, what the bowl looks like. Hey, so it looks like I'm actually might be able to get away with just taking this bowl right off the bottom without taking the whole airbox assembly off, which is going to save me a bunch of time. Looks like it's just a 13mm bolt on here. It's actually a nice Mikuni carburetor. Not some junk Chinese unit or anything else like that. Seems like a quality carb, which usually these things just have just the cheapest carburetors in the world on them. And it's actually, I don't know if you can see that, but it's actually not that, there's nothing really in there. Maybe it looks like it wasn't ever stored with any fuel in it. They ran it dry, turned the tap off and ran it dry. I don't think we're gonna have any issues there. This might be the easiest revival ever, which, you know, I probably just jinxed myself on that. So I think I probably just get away with putting, oh, you can't see, you can't get to that jet right there without taking the airbox off. But because it's so easy to take off, I'm just going to chance it and hope that with some fresh fuel it'll be fine. I don't think we're gonna need to take it off. If we do, I'm not out any extra time because I haven't started any disassembly yet. But just for good measure, we'll shoot some carb cleaner up in there. Make myself feel better. If we get rid of any possible varnish contaminant. Float seems okay. Not stuck. Kneeling seat's probably alright. Like I said, I don't think this was actually stored with any fuel in it. I'm worried about this pilot jet right here that I can't really get to. I can't get to it through the airbox. I'm gonna try. may have been a hole there you could get through it too. I don't think so. You just have to be careful. These things have these really tiny, narrow gaskets on, and these pretty much all use the same size gasket for the most part. These bowls are seen for all these small power sports and generator motors, and I think you can buy these in like a 5 or a 10 pack on Amazon for a couple of dollars. I don't think I have any right now, and this one looks like it's in pretty good shape. I'm going to attempt to reuse it, which means that it's going to leak everywhere, because that's how my life goes. But we'll see. Again, it takes 2 seconds to take it off, so I'm not too worried about it. Probably too tight, so it's fine. Hit that. I'm just gonna go ahead and take the plug out, take a look at it, see what we got going on. Shits and giggles. It's kind of really stuck in here, actually. Really tight. Why it's so fucking tight? Good MGK plug. I probably even have one of these laying around, BR6HS, but it looks fine. A little bit of oil corrosion buildup, but nothing to tell me this plug isn't going to work. We can give it a little spritz. You know, I kind of clean these up a little bit, and usually they're as good as new. I mean, they're $2, so it's not a big deal to replace it, but if you don't have one in front of you, it doesn't really matter. And of course, if you want to make yourself feel better, you can always just check for spark. Again, I don't think we're going to have any issues with that, but put it back in your electrode, ground it to something. This is probably a shitty ground and isn't going to work. Like I said, shitty ground is not going to work. This isn't going to be long enough to get it there. Of course not. It would help if I turn the ignition on, probably. Yep, look at that. Can you see that in there? The electrode. Little. I don't know how well it shows up on camera, but that's how you check for spark. Again, on something like this, probably not really important, but didn't think it was going to be an issue. But at least you know that if you do that while you have the plug out, then you can verify that you know your ignition's good. So it doesn't start the first time you pull on it. At least you know it's not a spark issue. Could be ignition timing, but that's not. Also, it's a good way to verify your plug's okay. And that you aren't just putting a dead plug back in the system. Tell you what, these threads are not the best. help me understand that. Okay. See, just like that. Easy as pie. Goes right in there. Remember, kids, doesn't matter if it's cross-threaded or torque to spec. Tight's tight. And no, typically I don't put any NICs on power sports engines, single cylinders, motorcycle engines, especially motorcycle engines. I don't know exactly the science behind it, but I've always known that it's usually never recommended. On your car engine, yes. On something that vibrates with bad mount, usually you should not use NICs. Alright, so now we're going to drain the oil while we wait for that tank to finish draining. And then I think we're going to check the plug. So my lovely assistant here is going to take care of that.
Yes.
You have to...
Which way does it go?
Like that.
This way?
Yeah, you have to actually try.
It's not going.
Turn it. Here, take that. Oh, it doesn't look that great, actually. It's just dirty. It's just been sitting a long time. Probably never been changed. But for as little use as this thing looks like it has on it, it's pretty filthy. Which is why you always want to do this. Okay, so now we got all of that taken care of. Oil changed, and I just about fell and busted my ass there. Oil changed, fluids flushed, everything checked over. I got some fresh gas, some Berryman's in it. Everything seems to prime. The carb was empty, so it might not light right off, but anybody have any guesses on how many pulls it's going to take? Any guesses? No? Okay. Let's see. Let's see if we got something here. First time! Well guys, I think that'll do it for us here this time. Just go show you, just go out, get something, do some work, get it done, and we'll see you next time here on Wheels Forgotten.